question to start with the panel discussion. Why Central Asia? And why Central Asia is important for the next 10 years for the globe. So starting with Minister Azerbaijan, Excellency, please.
Okay, I think I'm the only one with Kazakhstan, geographically. Is it working now?
Yes, it's working.
It's okay? Well, it's a very important question, and I think you can address it from different perspectives, from political perspective, from economical, logistical, and most of these presentations that you saw today, there are several dimensions to the importance of the region, macro region. Politically, it's important because Central Asia is experiencing a tremendous growth. Maybe 6-7 years back, it was not the Central Asia which is now. We enjoy very productive and fruitful and friendly relations between the neighbors in Central Asia. Well, it's an open secret, but maybe 10 years back it was not the same case. We had some border issues, we had some water management issues, demarcation, delimitation, but luckily with the good political will of all of the presidents of Central Asian countries, we progressed a lot, and now Central Asia is much more stronger, much more united. Free movement of capital, free movement of goods is ensured. So, like if I'm saying about Uzbekistan, Central Asia, in terms of our foreign policy priorities, the first concentric circle is the Central Asian countries. So, most of our neighboring countries became our biggest trading partners. They became our biggest destination for the investment from Uzbekistan and from Central Asian countries to Uzbekistan. As I mentioned, there is a free flow of capital, of people movement, so we are much more united now from the political perspective. There is a special mechanisms of regular political consultations and regular political dialogue on the highest level between the presidents, so it lays down a very solid foundation for the future development, and the mechanism is called, it's better now, the mechanism is called consultative meetings of the heads of Central Asian countries. It's a very effective mechanism because it has several layers, ministerial level, expert level, so it makes us, unite our political agenda very much close. Like we have here a representative from Kazakhstan. Recently, our president has paid a visit to Kazakhstan, and it was a very rich agenda, and we have signed an agreement, unprecedented agreement of almost union-like relations between our country. So we enjoy the same kind of relationship with all of other Central Asian countries on the political level, so we have very good platform. On economic level, you've seen that the region is in the heart of Eurasia. So north, south, east, west, whenever you go, you need to cross the Central Asian countries. So we have multiple projects, connectivity projects, middle corridor, north-south corridor. Maybe someday with India, ancient spice route will be rediscovered again. And now with the developments in Chabahar, we're very much welcome what is happening between India and Iran, and of course Uzbekistan, and I'm sure that most of our neighboring countries would like to support that initiatives, because it will give much closer access to the regional markets, and for us it will give an access to the Indian market. So connectivity is improving. If you talk about the investments, Central Asia, you've seen like each country has rich, vast natural resources in terms of services, tourism. All the sectors of economy are important, equally important to us. So we'd like to welcome Indian investments into the region, and hope my colleague can add up something to that. Thank you.
I have same question. Why Central Asia? Why not to south to Azerbaijan, or to west to Belarus, or north to Russia, or east to Mongolia?
Thank you for your questions. I think between our countries we have a big potential in different sectors. It's like renewable energy potential. Renewable energy potential. It's like agriculture and industries. It's everything. And now our country is with the development and year by year, our populations and grow, and we can any instrument supporting for foreign investors like we can national company like Kazakhstan Invest Trade who supports foreign investors, and we can it's a direct flight between our countries from Delhi, around 16 direct flights between our countries. It's more opportunities.
Okay. Questions from audience? You can just raise your hands. Yeah. You can ask to the specific Excellency or Ambassador.
Hi, this is Ganesh Watwe from Sarva Shikshan e-learning. We are mainly into project management training. My question is, for all the delegates mainly, and the reason behind this question is, whenever most of these countries they are really seeking for tourism development, and a lot of presentations were there. But mainly the focus was not there that how many English speaking people are there in your country, because that will become much more easier to connect with the people of your country. So that is the first question. Second one is about the education. How many people are, let's say, engineers or maybe in education sector, which will really help. So, all these, I think a lot of data, a lot of information we have collected through all these presentations over here, but this was something missing, and probably that will add a lot of value. So, my question is to everyone.
Maybe other Actually, the question is not clear. Your first question is about the tourism, right? What exactly English? So the English is a communication language. But this is very important question because in Central Asia, many of our Indian businessmen or friends, when they go there, they feel how to communicate, because most of the guys they speak in Kazakh or Uzbek, or they may speak Russian, but they can't speak English. So that may be a barrier. So this question is related to that only, the travel tourism segment, and maybe I know there are a lot of efforts are happening from the government side. So maybe Azerbaijan Excellency and Uzbekistan can answer that question.
Let me maybe start by answering about your question. Answering to a question proceeding from the experience of Azerbaijan. When there is interest, I think the language doesn't matter, because you will always find intermediary companies that will facilitate your business, starting from your registration, from setting up your company, from dealing with your tax issues, from migration issues, visas, etc., etc. So in my country, we have a lot of local companies who speak many languages. Any country who is thinking, any company who is thinking of starting business in Azerbaijan, they can contact them. They can draw for you a very good business plan in Azerbaijan. They can facilitate your meetings in various government agencies or with private companies. Some can help you find local partners. If I'm not mistaken, we're now working on the roster of private sector companies in my country. And I think next year it will be accessible online, where any company around the world can find its peer. That will be very helpful. Also, we have international legal companies like Dentons, like Ernst & Young, McKinsey, etc., who also are engaged in facilitating business relations between the countries. So that will be my answer to your question. So if there is interest,
young kids to understand each other.
Russian, of course, but English language is largely popular now, especially among the younger generation. Like it's compulsory to study English in schools. So nowadays, I think it's especially in the capital and the bigger cities, you don't struggle with language. But I do agree with my Azerbaijani colleague that if the investor is coming, they will find a way. It's not an issue. It's never been an issue to find an interpreter or to find somebody who will help to translate the documents. Most of the documents are available online in English language. Most of the, like I would say 100% of the ministry officials, they speak the language. So it's not a barrier. Maybe on the street, if you go to some remote area, we cannot ensure that every other grandma speaks English, but on the contrary, actually, between Uzbek and Hindi, we have 5,000 common words. So perhaps you can find yourself out. Thank you.
Yeah. You can just raise your hands. Yeah.
Hi everyone, this is Vaibhav and this is my colleague Kaushal. We are representing soil charger technology, the world's first Vedic farming technique. Actually, the purpose of this question is I want to collaborate and just want to give this technique information, the Indian Asian farming techniques with the other countries. So what's the scope with all the countries that we can collaborate that farming techniques and also yours?
What sort of farming technique is?
Vedic farming, the ancient Vedic farming.
Vedic?
Yes.
Basically, a Vedic is a step ahead of organic. We have all heard of organic fertilizer, organic manure, but beyond organic, if there is something, it's Vedic. We have collaborated modern science with the ancient technology, ancient methodology of farming, and developed these products. And we are one of only kind in the globe who manufactures this type of product. And what I face the problem is I always mail a lot. I do cold mailing to a lot of government bodies and people around the world, but I don't get any response from them. So how can I reach to the government authorities and share our technology with them?
So anybody want to answer the farming technology? Maybe Belarus Excellency can answer. Yeah. So he's telling that the technique which is the Indian ancient farming techniques, the organic food basically, and more than that. So nowadays there are a lot of problem, the organic foods and the instant foods, the people are getting problem of cancer and all. So in that case, this farming is developing in India. So they just want to know how they can connect to Central Asian countries, maybe through government or with private bodies, so that they can share the techniques to these countries, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I represent here the Republic of Belarus, and our country is very well developed in terms of agricultural and food industry, etc. Because I think Belarus is mostly appreciated in former USSR countries by its food, because in every country, when you go to Uzbekistan or Azerbaijan or Russia, Belarusian milk, butter, meat, sausages, they are very much popular, and believe me, it's a face image of our country in CIS countries. And so basically we have quite good competences in this regard, because this includes, of course, raw materials, because we produce a lot of meat, milk, and then we have a quite good intellectual potential, so to process all of this and to make concrete food. But if you have, for example, very particular interest to our country, I would invite you to send the profile of your company to our Consulate General, so that we can look at your company in details and decide which solution to take, so to help you, okay? Because we can discuss. So I think that this discussion is of very general character. We cannot discuss details. But if you have very particular interest in how to share your technologies, how to obtain competences from our country, I invite you to send or we can, after this general discussion, we can talk to you and to find more information about your company and to try to find some solutions which you are in need of. Okay? Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
And as I mentioned in my remarks, that agriculture also can be a very good part of cooperation. So if you're interested, really, we can meet and talk about in details. Thank you.
So with the evening, we are doing B2B meetings with excellencies, so that those who are interested in specific countries to discuss B2B questions. So I request all of you in the lunchtime, you can just give your name, maybe your question, and for which country you want to meet. So in the evening, after second session completion, we are going to have a separate meeting for each excellency for your specific question country-wise. So maybe in the lunchtime, you can just share that interest and questions to our team. Yes, Mr. Pinagi. Yeah, you can just go.
Namaste. I am Dr. Samir Paranspe. I am on a mission to treat and transform 10 million middle-aged women above 40 years facing perimenopausal challenges with the help of holistic approach of Ayurveda to make them happy and healthy. मला एक मराठीत थोडक्यात सांगतो तो प्रश्न फक्त त्यांच्यापर्यंत पोहोचवा. भारतामध्ये अनेक वैद्य आयुर्वेदाची प्रॅक्टिस करणारे हे विविध देशांमध्ये जाऊन आयुर्वेदाची प्रॅक्टिस करू इच्छितात आणि अनेक देशांमध्ये आयुर्वेदिक मेडिसिन म्हणून अनेक निर्बंध त्यांच्यावरती असतात. तर तुमच्या देशांमध्ये आयुर्वेदाची शुद्ध आयुर्वेदाची प्रॅक्टिस करण्यासाठी म्हणून काही निर्बंध आहेत का? आमच्या भारतातले वैद्य तुमच्याकडे शुद्ध आयुर्वेदाची प्रॅक्टिस करण्यासाठी इच्छुक असतील तर ते येऊ शकतात का आणि ते मुक्त हस्ते आयुर्वेदाची प्रॅक्टिस करू शकतात का? धन्यवाद.
Okay. So you all know apart from allopathy, the Ayurveda is very famous. And Ayurveda is not new now, because I think last in 10-15 years Ayurveda has been utilized by most of the country, many businessmen, laymen also. His specific question to maybe any one of you can answer, that there are so many practitioners of Ayurveda in India, there are so many medicines, the different variety of medicines, and if they want to come to your country, what are the restrictions? And if they want to grow in your country with their products, so what exactly the routes, what exactly the maybe the rules regulation of that country specifically related to Ayurveda, because there are, as this is the pharmacy related thing, there are the restrictions as is the use on the human body. Maybe any one of you can answer. Maybe sir, you.
Yes, I think after the COVID, everybody knows that Ayurveda, or traditional medicine as we call in Mongolia, is very effective against certain, let's say, the pandemics. So I believe that the combination of Ayurvedic in India and the traditional medicine in Mongolia can be very fruitful, because in India you have certain herbs that is grown here while it's not grown in Mongolia, and also in Mongolia because of the high altitude we have certain herbs that you cannot find in India. So I believe cooperation in this field will be very, fruitful, beneficial for our both nations.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for your question. In my country, we have certain clinics that provide Ayurvedic medicine. Every sphere of entrepreneurship and healthcare is also one sphere of business. It's about money, it's about clientele, it's about service provider, and it's about commodity. So that's obvious. There is no hidden agenda in that. Every sphere, there is specific process of registration of business. The same means licensing. So, but before that, there are certain steps that has to be taken. You cannot create demand simply by sending your company profile or product details to the embassy or to the trade representation of any country. You have, what I always advise is try to find a local partner. In Azerbaijan, create, let's say, advertise your product, your service, create some demand. And once demand is on the rise, then think about opening a representation their office there. I know many Indians who started like that. I know an Indian surgeon who, after a couple of operations here, and after bringing his Azerbaijani patients here for rehabilitation, he decided to open a clinic there in order to increase the number of his clients there. So that's why it should start, step by step. But thank you very much.
त्यांचं सांगण्याचा मुद्दा एकदम क्लिअर आहे आणि गेले अनेक वर्ष जेव्हा आम्ही वेगळ्या कंट्रीशी इंटरॅक्शन करतो म्हणजे आमचा स्वतःचा ग्लोबल इंडिया बिझनेस फोरमचा अनुभव आहे की खूप वेळा असं होतं की आपलं इंडियन बिझनेस पण कदाचित इकडनंच वेगळ्या कंट्रीमध्ये डायरेक्टली एक्सपोर्ट करण्याचा विचार करतात. पण खरं तर प्रोसेस एकदम क्लिअर आहे. तुम्हाला त्या कंट्रीची डिटेल माहिती असणं खूप गरजेचं आहे. तिथलं कल्चर कसं आहे, तिथं गव्हर्नमेंटच्या ज्या रिस्ट्रिक्शन्स आहेत, पॉलिसीज आहेत, वेगवेगळ्या प्रॉडक्टसाठीच्या तर तुम्हाला वेबसाईटवर ते अवेलेबल असतातच. पण बेसिकली डेलिगेशनला भेटणं किंवा डेलिगेशनबरोबर जाऊन तिथं थोडासा प्रॉपर स्टडी आपण करणं हे अतिशय गरजेचं असतं. कारण बऱ्याच वेळा असं होतं की इकडनं तुम्ही डायरेक्टली काही वेळेला एक्सपोर्ट्स करता आणि तिथं काही लोकल इश्यूज तयार होतात किंवा डिमांड नसते. जसं आता त्यांनी सांगितल्याप्रमाणे की मार्केट क्रिएट झालेलं नसतं तर मे बी एखादी शिपमेंट होते आणि तुमचं एक्सपोर्ट स्टॉप होतं. तर सगळ्यात इम्पॉर्टंट हेच आहे की तुम्हाला थोडं मार्केट स्टडी करणं, तिथं जाणं, तिथं थांबणं. जसं चायनीज बिझनेसमध्ये नॉर्मली तिथे गेल्यानंतर आम्ही बघतोय की 1 महिना 2 महिना त्या सिटीमध्ये त्या कंट्रीमध्ये थांबतात, डिटेल माहिती घेतात, त्यांचा स्वतःचा नॉलेज बेस वाढवतात आणि त्याच्यानंतर पुढचं त्यांचं बिझनेस प्लॅन तयार होतं. तर हा प्लॅन जास्त इफेक्टिव्ह असू शकतो लॉंग टर्म बिझनेसच्या दृष्टीने. तर आयुर्वेदाच्या बाबतीमध्ये माझे अनेक मित्र वेगवेगळ्या कंट्रीमध्ये ऑलरेडी आयुर्वेदाची प्रॅक्टिस करतात. तिथं चांगल्यापैकी मार्केट डेव्हलप झालेलं आहे ऑलरेडी, कारण आयुर्वेद काही नवीन राहिलेला नाही आहे. जो 50 वर्षापूर्वी काळाची नवीन होता पण आता नवीन नाही आहे. कारण युरोपियन्सला आपले श्री रविशंकर असतील किंवा बाकी पण आपले जे चांगले संत पुरुष आहेत त्यांनी आयुर्वेद भारताच्या बाहेर पोचवलेला आहे. त्याच्यामुळे आयुर्वेद स्टडी प्रोग्रेस नक्कीच खूप जास्त आहे. येस.
Good afternoon, Excellencies. I am from the handloom textile sector. So my question is to all of you, if we want to send our product to your country, then what about the port facilities? Means through Russia or through Iran's Chabahar, or how to send our product? How can we send our product into your country? And secondly, what about the customs duty? Both are my main questions to you. If anyone can explain.
Sir,
about the customs duty.
Can answer this because I see about the custom duty. Frankly speaking, excellencies can't answer the technical question because they are ambassadors, and this question is specifically for the guys, those who are dealing with them.
Okay.
But we also can provide you the data for the various custom duty. Considering our experience about Central Asia, see, even though these are landlocked countries. Yeah,
that's why I am asking you how to send our
so
product
as they are landlocked countries, but the access has already been started with the Chaba port. Yeah, and India was instrumental to work with Iran, and fortunately Iran Excellency is also here today. So maybe you can answer this question for this panel from your side. How when Indian businessmen sending goods from Chaba port to any of these countries, how is the support now? The new trade agreement also happened recently between India and Iran. You can answer this question, sir.
Thank you very much for the question. Just since also it's good to have this conference at a time that just 3 days ago this Chabahar port long-term contract was signed. As you know, it would be a very good platform to facilitate the transport of goods from India to all the Central Asian country, Caucasian country, and Iran. Right now has a very well developed railroad and rail network that will connect all our southern port from Chabahar and also Bandar Abbas to all Central Asian country and Caucasia and Turkey also. I think it could be one of the best way that you can use it. You may also know that there is a direct shipping line also from Mumbai to Iran, to Chabahar as well right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Maybe we can extend this question to him further in the next panel presentation in detail. Next question, please.
Excuse me, Excellencies, we are representing from Sri Lanka, and we know the global, after COVID, so global tourism, in fact, and it is grooming globally in a different way, a different platform. So we would like to ask what are the impact and cooperations of your Eastern Europe countries towards development of tourism. Thank you.
And the question is not very clear actually.
So regarding what are the cooperations from the Eastern Europe countries to develop the tourism lineup with both South Asian countries? What are the programs initiating?
Can you answer? So actually, I think you meant to say ki what is the collaboration between all these countries together to support the tourism?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you ask us about Eastern Europe, let's take our example, the Republic of Belarus. So if you need, personally your company, you're very much interested in tourism with Belarus, so I think it is very easy to do it because we can find a partner for this tourism, but it is important to know which kind of tourism you are interested in. Incoming tourism, yes, tourism to India, or outcoming to Eastern Europe countries. So if you mean the second type of tourism, or even first, no matter, incoming, outcoming, so first of all, we can help you establish direct relations with tourism companies in Belarus, because India is very much interesting countries for our people. All of the people know about India. India is a very great country, so with very long history and very rich traditions, which are very interesting to our people. Yeah, if you mean the outcoming tourism, please contact us. We will explain you visa details, visa regime with India, because basically all of the tourists need visa. The visa process is very simple. Visa can be issued up to 1 day, during a day, if all of the necessary details are in proper way. And so we will give you the details, the contact details of our tourism companies, which will help to organize the process, beginning from visas up to program of stay, hotels, flight tickets, etc., etc. In terms of transportation, now, as I mentioned in my presentation, there is a direct flight between New Delhi and Minsk. So people from India can reach our country during 6 hours. So it is very convenient way. So all of the preconditions for tourism are created. Please come to us, we will help you. If you mean the interaction between our countries and our regions in tourism, so for us it is very easy because there is free visa regime between, for example, Central Asian countries and Belarus, except for Turkmenistan, because Turkmenistan is in a very special position. But basically, we have direct flights. So people from Central Asia come to Belarus with no obstacles. The same with us, because in my experience, personal experience, for example, Uzbekistan is more and more popular with Bukhara, with Tashkent. Is a very interesting and very colorful cities and region. So it is very interesting to us. I know that a lot of tourists are keen to go to Uzbekistan. The same is with Armenia, with Azerbaijan, these countries became very, very interesting and very beautiful countries right now. And it was not like, in the Soviet Union era, when everything was like not very much, but now these are very bright countries. So I think we are between ourselves, we are very much interested for this tourism, and we do this. And we invite Indian partners as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The last question we'll take, because I think everybody is hungry. Maybe 2 questions, maximum 2 questions. And you can meet Excellencies in the evening hours. So we have around 1.5 hour we'll get. So I think that will be a good time to interact one-to-one. Yeah. So the last 2 questions, fast.
Good afternoon, Excellencies. This is Meghana Bokil. I'm representing my brand, Fridge Magnets. I'm a travel planner. And our specialty is medical tourism. So I want to know whether there are opportunities for medical tourism, like people visiting India for their medical treatments.
To whom you want to ask specifically? So that
not a specific.
Maybe sir, you can. So her question is about the opportunities in medical tourism because she is having the travel company, and a lot of patients from the Central Asian countries, those who want to come to India. So there are the good facilities in the many cities, in Indian cities, and good hospitals also, and with the best cost compared to Europe or US. So in that case, her question is that what exactly the possibilities of more and more medical tourism patients to India, right?
Yes.
Maybe sir, you can answer.
Oh, thank you for your question. I think it's the most natural question for all of us, because India is a very popular destination for tourists from Central Asian countries and South Caucasus, East Europe, to come here for treatment, very high quality treatment. And India became very quickly a very popular destination. Like if you speak about Uzbekistan, we have thousands of Uzbek patients coming here for some complicated surgeries, transplants. Back home, medicine is also quite developed, and that's why we enjoy a very large influx of Indian medical students to our countries. Most of Central Asian countries host thousands and thousands of Indian medical students, and the quality of education is very high. Cost is much lower. Recently, I give you one example. We presented the first batch of diplomas for almost 200 Indian students graduated from Bukhara State University. So when they get back here, they need to pass FMG exam, very complicated exam for the students who studied abroad, medical science, and then they had to pass this exam to qualify as a medical doctors here. So general success rate of that exam in India is 15 to 20%. Out of 100 students who studied in Uzbekistan, 86 have passed. So the rate of success is very high. It means the credibility of medical services. But of course, we lack some physical infrastructure and some, complicated surgeries, as I said, liver transplants, kidney transplants, and we do some joint operations when Indian surgeons travel to Uzbekistan. They perform there, but the potential is huge. But now I think, like in our case, we are moving to the next stage. We already have several hospitals in Uzbekistan, so let's say big hospitals like Akash or Sardor, they discovered that they can bring, let's say, 1,000 patients to India and treat them here. But if they open regional representation, regional branch, satellite office in Uzbekistan, they can cover 10 times, 15 times more. So now that's the strategy which we are witnessing, and nowadays we have at least 6 to 7 big Indian hospitals, big brand names, opening their branches in Uzbekistan in the next 1 or 2 years. They already started this negotiation, so I would like to encourage this exchange, and the embassy is ready to promote it. Thank you.
So actually, after COVID, the things have changed in many countries, because I have been interacting with so many countries and many embassies, or maybe when we visited with a delegation, even the ministry level people of the opinion that why our people should go to other countries, why can't the hospitals come there as the investors? So if the hospitals itself is there, so in that case, the mass variety of people can go and get been treated there. So I think the things will change in future, maybe within next 3 to 5 years of time. I think most of the countries, even the African country, they are seeking for the hospitals, Indian hospitals, to open a branch there, and the doctors can fly. So maybe one doctor is going there, maybe can do maybe 10 knee replacement in a day also. So I think it is most good proposition in future. Definitely, but this medical tourism is for next 3 to 5 years is a lucrative business. I hope so. Thank you. The last question, maybe. Yeah.
Very good afternoon, Excellency. Myself, Kunal Pawar. I am representing PTC Water Tech LLP. Actually, our Excellency is into water as well as wastewater treatment. As we all know, water is very precious, and if we save water, water will save us. So my just question was for a future collaboration with your countries, is there any scope that where can we jointly hand together for the business development for water, treatment of your water as well as wastewater in your country? If you are facing any issues led to wastewater generation? It was my general question to all of you.
Maybe anyone can answer. The wastewater management project, basically, maybe nowadays even the big societies or the big apartments, they need such kind of treatment, and the local bodies always insist that there should be clean water or the processed water, so that the health is good and the water preservation is always there. Maybe anyone can answer.
Yeah, I fully agree that the water management is now, I think, not only in India but in all around the world is a big problem. In case of Mongolia, the water is getting more scarce because we have many rivers, but we call them unpatriotic because all of them except one, all flown out of Mongolia. So now we're thinking about how to use those waters flowing out of Mongolia to use, because in the southern part of Mongolia, you know, the Gobi Desert, and the desertification level of Mongolia is increasing up to 68%. So now we have to think how to channel those waters flowing out of Mongolia to the southern part, where you can stop the desertification, build as we call the green belt, so the agriculture, the forestry. So these kind of things, I believe we can have a good cooperation.
About wastewater management, I've been here in India for about 6 months, and what I have noticed is that there are many companies who are dealing with clean water, and every company has its own product that they advertise as exclusive. No offense, but everybody, every company says its product is exclusive. So whether it is so or not, it's not for us to judge. It's for the line organizations and ministries to decide. So what we do, we just forward these proposals to those agencies. And imagine there are 195 countries in the world, and at least half of them, especially Western countries as well, Western companies are also engaged in water management issue. So imagine the government agency of Azerbaijan, we have state water agency. How inundated they become with all these proposals, and it is difficult for them to choose, to analyze. I want to go back to the previous question and connect it, draw parallels with this one. When I'm speaking about tourism, Indian tourist inflow to Azerbaijan, some people say, how did you manage it? Some people think that, we have something, civilizational, something exclusive things in my country that attract Indian tourists. No. It didn't start overnight. We invested in it a lot, starting from 2016-17, from small numbers, small steps. We attended every expo here, our tourist guys. We set up dedicated team of government officials whose focus was solely attracting Indian tourists. We organized roadshows here. We invited small groups. We worked with the media, with local companies. We tried to focus on certain potential, let's say, lucrative regions from where we can attract tourists. So step by step, that's how we reached these numbers. So nothing happens overnight in this business.
I think it's the last question. Either? You can ask. Yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm myself representing.
Sridhar, give the mic.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Kuldeep Verma. I'm representing TRB Group. We are in multiple business portfolio. We are in the mining business, the steel production business, and as well as in the bottling and beverages industry. I have two part of questions. Basically, we are facing in the Kazakhstan and in Uzbekistan. Before investing, we need the market research data in every country. How much the profitable is when we are going to invest. In Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, we find it's very difficult to get the market data so that we can analyze how much we can invest and what amount of return we can get over there. And secondly, if we can go to the second part, if we are not going to directly invest or putting on some plant over there, if we're going to collaborate in the local existing players, it is very hard to get the even appointments of existing players. Like it will take 5-6 months to just get an appointment from the existing players. If we can just try to connect them on the calls, then the language barrier exists, because the receptionists didn't understand our language and they didn't pass our calls to their managers and their directors. That problems we are facing. Actually, I traveled Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan last year just to do the mining business and other opportunities.
Mining business is that?
Yeah, mining and others, the steel plant business, we are planning to put over there.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Mining business and?
Steel.
What steel?
Steel manufacturing.
Steel manufacturing.
Yeah.
What kind of data do you need?
The market research, how many players are there?
Normally, yes, whatever is available online on the relevant ministry's website is available, but normally when the investor comes, they order special market investigation for either company locally, or we cannot do your research for you, but all the general data is available for the mines, for the capacity. I can send you several websites, and all the data is there.
Actually, on the websites, there are very few data is available, because the mining and
well, again, mining is a very peculiar area. Detailed information normally is not provided. As you know, if you are a professional in this sphere, you must know that when NDA is signed with the government, on the next stage you can get more detailed information. But we would like to welcome you. Please come to the embassy. We'll discuss that. And you've never approached us, and
we even visited the Ministry of Mines there to communicate how we can start there.
Please come to the embassy. We'll discuss it in more detail. We'll be happy to talk.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. In my country, we have niche projects. It's like a business plan in the mining sector and infrastructure sector. I can share with you all information, all details about this investment project, and I can support you with organizing meeting with our colleagues from employer for government and national companies like Kazakh Invest. Okay. During B2B meetings, I tell you about all details.
Thank you, friends. So we are stopping here this panel discussion. I think it's a good time for the lunch now. Before that, now as these 4 important countries are in front of us, we will start the panel discussion. This will be around maybe 7 to 8 questions maximum, so that you can have a direct meetings also. So, but that meeting will not go more than 45 minutes. Because we need to start for the airport at around 5:45. So just make it short. My team is there. Those who want to ask questions, you can start. Just raise your hand. Yeah. Light लावलं तरी चालतील मागचे.
Mic.
Yeah. Light law.
Good evening, sir. My name is Mahendra Kumar Soni. I am from Vittal Rukmani Export, Pune. My question is this: as a new business we are starting in export, so we are searching for the buyers. So I am requesting the sirs to answer this: that if we doing the business, what is the security for getting the genuine buyer? If anything happens, what step your countries is taking to secure our payment? Any help from government is there, or any portal is there? We can report anything, or we can get the details for the same.
What product and which country you are sending?
Still starting, sir. That's why I'm asking.
Pardon?
Starting, sir. This newcomer.
No, but what products?
That is the ceramic and the jewelry, gold and silver.
Which country?
Any country, sir.
Every country has a different rules.
That's only from like Iran and Armenia. If we sending the jewelry.
Yes, since the microphone is in my hand, that's good. And you mentioned about the Armenia as well. I encourage you really to visit website which is called Enterprise Armenia. So it is actually one window institution which provides all the necessary information and regulations before your arrival there, you can so online have imaginary how is going on, and they will be also available to answer to any kind of your question, to bring some goods, to have some investment, to how to establish a company or any question. They are one window system.
Yeah, another one.
Hi, this is Ganesh Watway. I am into mainly project management training. The question is related with mainly currency, because most of the time whenever there is import and export, currency whatever is used typically is USD. But Russian counterpart here already mentioned that there are many Russian banks over here and we can do the transactions by using INR, Indian rupees. I think same thing might be there with Iran as well because of all these political issues outside. Now question is about other countries as well. So our UPI that is used at many countries nowadays, it has started already, and mainly after G20 that UPI is becoming popular in other countries as well. Some government initiatives those are undertaken already. So is there any kind of activities which are going on with these countries, all these countries where we can use UPI, we can use INR, Indian rupees or their currency instead of using USD? So that is my question. So anyway, everyone,
Iran can answer this question. Is it the UPI, the bank transaction from Indian banks and on the UPI? So like as in for the Russia, say the Russian banks can accept the maybe Indian currencies for the exports or imports.
When it comes to the financial transfer, I can confirm that right now there are some difficulties, especially some companies are facing some difficulties in transferring. But it doesn't mean that it's not possible. Right now, both countries are trading. Last year, it's almost $5 billion. So it means that there is financial ways acceptable for businessmen for both sides. They can find a mutually acceptable way how to deal it. We have proposed previously a rupee line was accepted between Iran and India, and still this line is available by the Indian side. Some Iranian companies were not that much satisfying with that because of this a little bit fluctuating of the exchange rate of rupee to dollar. But this line is still acceptable, exists. So just to cooperate with your partner for paying in rupee is one way. However, there are other ways that normally through the third countries. Majority of this transaction are being done with third countries, and we have received minimum satisfaction. At least as I can say that during the last 1, 2, 3 years maybe. I cannot mention even 1 or 2 Indian companies that they have sold something and they have not received their money.
Maybe sir, you can answer the same question actually with a very important question. As a businessman, Indian businessman, the question in their mind, the specific sanction with few countries and where the clarity is not there. If I really want to import or export, what is the ways for the payments mode?
Okay. Firstly, I would like to introduce my colleagues here in this auditorium. Yes, please. Mr. Mamet Akhmedov, he is head of branch of trade representation in Mumbai, and another one, yes, Mr. Aliaksandr Mesnikov. They have come from Mumbai here instead of mine by car. That's why, yes, they will still here and can in regime B2B, yes, give answers to your questions after yes this event. But I would like to notice that now there is no problems generally, no need to consider the situation generally, because no problem in mutual settlements, in payments. In India, there are 12, maybe already 14 banks with Vostra accounts, and we have full-scale two branch of VTB Bank and Sberbank here, and everything payments go smoothly and in time. Sometimes we have to tackle issues in concrete case. It's possible, but believe me, now no problems. Problems were maybe a year and a half ago. And do not hesitate if you have any problem concerning to payment or concerning to logistic issues or other issues. Do not hesitate, please, to contact us by email. It's preferable by email than to call by phone. And you believe me, you will receive qualified answers.
Yeah.
Hello.
Next question.
Myself Subhash Chandra. I am representing Green Sense Energy. We are into solar business. We are manufacturer for solar water heaters. So my question is that is solar water heater product is available with countries, or they are importing from other countries? Particularly for the Iran, they are using solar water heaters or for bathing purpose, or they are using any other like electrical geysers or gas geyser for bathing purpose? Is it clear?
Solars are available everywhere in the world now. What is it?
No, solar is available. Solar, I'm talking about the solar water heater. It's a different product. Solar water heater is a different product. Solar power systems is a different product. So
what do you want actually? You want to export? You want to import from?
I want to export. So I'm a manufacturer of.
Which country you are interested in?
I'm particularly Iran. I'm already supplying to Iraq, so I'm particularly want to extend to Iran.
Iran.
Yeah.
So are you importing the water heaters, solar water heaters?
I don't have the information regarding this, frankly speaking.
Okay.
But if you have any specific information about this, you may send us to our Consul General. If there is any need for any follow-up, for sure we will do it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. My name is Dr. Purva Ketkar, and I am a homeopathic doctor, and I have been practicing past 14 years. And I would like to extend my practice horizon. So how am I supposed to approach you if I want to conduct homeopathic camps in your countries? Whom should I approach, and what kind of licensing it would need, or documentation it would need? If I want
for
to,
which countries?
I would like to pick up Armenia and Kazakhstan. That would be the.
Or Ayurveda business you want to
no, it's homeopathy, sir.
Homeopathy
it's not
practice you
Ayurveda.
want to expand there.
So yes, first of all, I would like to mention regarding the Indian students that we have now in Armenia, in medical universities especially. I guess many of our countries the same situation. But in small Armenia, let's say right now it's around 3,000 students we have. So, and we had last year our also Minister of Health visit here. And I know that there are some thoughts regarding to have some treatment, to have some agreement, and regarding to having somehow to organize the treatment of each nation. Right now, I'm going to say you that this agreement is finalized and will be signed in the near future, maybe in a high visit, in the scope of a framework of a high visit. So it will be, I assume that it will cover some kind of cooperation regarding to that side.
Okay, thank you.
Please, next one.
Hello sir, I am Nikhil Salvi. We are into export of fruits and vegetables. Considering, like international payment settlements as we just discussed, there are certain hesitations. So can we expect that, like there will be some expedition in the BRICS currency, and this can be a solution? So do we have anything from like Russia or Iran on BRICS currency?
There is no BRICS currency yet.
That is in plan, and that can be considered as
actually, it is yet to define whether to implement that currency or not. It's a very big decision. I hope so. But right now, there is no BRICS currency.
Yeah, because like still, like Indian banks, there is some hesitation. No, like normal standard banks like HDFC, ICICI or major banks, they are not, like that much friendly, or they are not ready to accept payments when it comes to either Russia or Iran. So
yeah, but right now the Excellency has cleared that question.
Yes.
May not be some banks like HDFC, ICICI is not supporting for that sort of, but there are other banks, those who are already associated with this country, they are doing this transaction. And the best example given by Excellency of Iran, the last year almost a big currency has been transferred through other banks, and the same said by Russian Excellency also. The transaction is possible, but there are specific banks are there. So you can utilize that bank, but we should not insist only the known banks, which is right now are not supporting. Maybe the time will come within next, maybe hope few months, and everything will be clear for us. But BRICS currency, you need to wait. I don't know what is the time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Of course, the different countries, there are recent years we are seeing a kind of decline in the share of the dollar and the global currency. Some other alternative currency are being raised. It could be, for example, RBI of India, rupee of India, the ruble of Russia, and other countries. Of course, if this currency of BRICS could be realized, it could be also one. But we know that at least during the last years, many countries, they are starting negotiation with the other countries bilaterally to accept, to transact with their national currencies. This is something I know that India has made such kind of agreement with many countries. Also, we have agreed with India to transact with each other with real and rupee. The same that we have already done with Russia also, that it's acceptable between Iran and Russia. So more and more countries are trying to do businesses with their own national currencies or some alternative currencies as well.
Sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. This is a question for representatives from Iran and from Armenia. I saw that you had showed opportunities regarding agriculture business in your countries. So just want to understand that are you allowing like ownership of land, or like it has to be leased, or what are the dynamics of that, if you can explain?
Yes, in Iran specifically, in the free trade zone, there is a possibility 100% of ownership for foreign citizenship, and also they have the privilege of using a more easier and simpler labor law, and also for having the foreign laborers visa and any kind of, especially for this free trade zone. There are lots of incentives and motivation for the foreign countries who are going to start investment or their business over there. And in Iran right now, as also mentioned in my presentation, right now there are 8 free trade zones in Kish, Kesh, in Chabahar, also in Arvand, Aras. 2 months ago, we also started to have a new free trade zone at the border between Iran and also Afghanistan, in Islamabad, in Khorasan Rezaei province also. So one of the best places also to start some kind of cooperation or start a business would be to try through this free trade zone.
Yes. So since I'm the only ambassador among the dignitaries, yes, is going to be. I'm going to so disagree with with the title. Or otherwise, the Central Asia is expanded, and it's going to be huge Central Asia, pointed away. And otherwise, my capital will say, "What are you doing there in the Central Asia?" So, but referring to your question, and in my presentation I referred to that, and once again I wanted to quote. So, notably, foreign investors registered in Armenia enjoyed the unique privilege of acquiring land and property with full 100% ownership rights, along with the ability to engage in long-term rental agreements, a feature rare in many other countries. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Vishal. I'm the Business Development Manager at Patsia. So we have a patent search engine, and we have clients flooded in Europe and US. We also have clients in Russia. However, when it comes to the other CIS countries, the problem we have is the language barrier. So for example, we had a sign up coming in from the Intellectual Property Office of Ukraine, but then when we emailed them back, they had some restrictions in terms of firewall, and then when we contacted them from other channels, we couldn't get in touch with them because of the language barrier. So will the embassy or maybe the something similar over here, like embassy or maybe the trade agency, be able to help us in this respect?
As Ukraine representative, definitely not here.
Yeah.
But maybe if in other countries, is there any barrier, or how can they support when they want some specific information on the portal, right?
Yes, it's just the language barrier, because when we contact them, it's like the person on the switchboard, they speak in either in Russian, otherwise other languages, so it's a problem for us. And that said,
So in previous panel discussion, it was very well answered to that question, and I really liked it. But also pay please attention regarding the presentation which our Belarusian colleague also presented. Now former Soviet countries are not a typical like you have in your mind. They are really developed one, and there is no. Actually, I'm honestly saying I'm in a strange situation right now because there is no language barrier. For example, in my country, let's say, because it's going to be fully respectful with the Russian language, but the English language is becoming higher than even in Russian language. That we have.
Sorry, again, I would like to add some new maybe for you, because I've been observing and following this situation in our country. Very interesting situation. Many foreigners who come to Tajikistan, they take intensive course of language, and after 3 months they start speaking the language. Why? Because the method of teaching is communicative method. Why? Because the language, the field of study created, organized in a way that the student will be motivated to study more intensively. And language cannot be barrier or obstacle. Why? Because you are targeting your goals, you're following your plans. You have to fight the language. Therefore, teachers, professors provide all necessary information and methodology in order for you to speak. I taught Tajiki language in Seattle, University of Washington. It was 20 years ago. I had 12 students. Among there were 2 Indian students. After 3 months, my students, they performed cultural program using Tajik language. Why? Because again, we focus on communicative approach. And these students, maybe they use sometimes somewhere this language, but the motivation is important for anybody, for anyone who is going to study, to go to abroad, and to get involved in some kind of business. It doesn't matter what kind of business. Tajik Indian students taking medical program, medicine. And they are studying 2 languages, Russian and Tajik language. because many lectures are delivered in Russian. And on the street, they speak Tajiki language. That means they are facing two languages at the same time. But they are managing how somehow. And some of them speak, some of them established their companies here back in India in order to mobilize Indian students again to Tajikistan. This is interesting. Maybe I'm sorry for this, but maybe some of us maybe are lazy because of facing this new challenge. I mean in terms of language, how to say, points, language barriers, okay? This is what I think, my observation about this.
I add something on the language. While confirming the comments of my dear colleagues from Tajikistan, as regarding the language barrier in Iran, I must say that we are not worried. Maybe I confirm that when you're going to start communicating and getting in touch with a foreigner and with a foreign country, this might be such a worriness. But especially for Iran, I can say that many of the people of the society, especially the young generation, they speak English very well. Okay, for sure. For my youngster boys of 10 and 12, they speak fluently, even better than me, and many other people, especially when there is some company that is working internationally. Normally, they understand and they can speak, they can communicate in English. But even in Persian, I can add this point that even in Persian, it's not a worriness for Indian. As you know, for many centuries, Persian language have been commonly used, not as a first language, not as an Hindu, but it has been commonly used in India. And right now, both India and Iran, they share a big numbers of the common words. There was just one study by an Indian professor around 5-6 years ago, and the book is also published right now. He has found 1,800 common words that right now is being used in Indian Persian. So, thank you very much.
So let's try this issue for and all, and then end to this question. Just a few remarks and regarding coming back to nowadays, let's say. Again, in one of my slides, I refer to the ages of the workforce that we have in Armenia, which is 30 and 49 ages are covering, and it is the another provement that they are new skilled ones, they are young generation, they are English, very well known people right now. And I mentioned about the students that we had. I would mention about the workers that we have in Armenia, around 30,000 workers, and there is, again, without any obstacle of language, the ordinary worker, can you imagine coming to Armenia and getting involved in the construction area, in other spheres, and then there is no obstacle of such kind of issue. Thanks.
Yeah, any last question? So this is the last question, and after that, we'll just have 45 minutes for the B2B meeting. Last question, please.
नमस्कार, मी प्रशांत जगताप, वेल्टेक कॉर्पोरेशनच्या वतीने. ॲक्च्युली आज जगभरामध्ये फॅब्रिकेशन आणि वेल्डिंगचं साधारणतः 80% काम चालतं. यामध्ये आम्ही पॅनासॉनिकच्या वेल्डिंग मशीनचा आम्ही बिझनेस करतो. हा बिझनेस आपल्या देशामध्ये आपल्या इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टरमध्ये आम्हाला कशा प्रकारे पोहोचवता येईल याबद्दल थोडक्यात माहिती सांगा.
कुठल्या कंट्रीत तुम्हाला इंटरेस्ट होतो?
सर्वच कंट्रीजमध्ये.
आता फॅब्रिकेशनचे प्रोजेक्ट सगळ्याच कंट्रीमध्ये चालू आहे. फॅब्रिकेशन म्हणजे हा सगळीकडे लागणारा विषय आहे. प्रत्येक इंडस्ट्रीमध्ये, अगदी घरातल्या जाळीपासून इंडस्ट्रियल प्रोजेक्टपर्यंत सगळीकडे लागतं. म्हणजे इफ यू कॅन गेट तुम्ही जर कॉन्ट्रॅक्ट हे जर ठरवलं कुठल्याही कंट्रीमध्ये जाऊन, तुम्हाला पॉसिबल आहे ते, कॅन डेफिनेटली गेट दॅट अपॉर्च्युनिटी. आणि तुम्ही आता ह्या वेबसाईट जर रेफर केलं ना, आम्ही आज ज्या अनाऊन्स केल्या आहेत वेबसाईट्स वेगवेगळ्या कंट्रीच्या, त्याच्यामध्ये सगळं टेंडर्समधनं पण तुम्ही ते टेंडर्स भरू शकता जे बाहेरच्या कंट्रीतल्या बिझनेसमधला ओपन असतात. असे बरेच टेंडर्स असतात जे कन्स्ट्रक्शन, इव्हन वेल्डिंग, फॅब्रिकेशन सेगमेंटमधले असतात. इट इज पॉसिबल.
थँक्यू.
So friends, we are going to stop here now.